I have covered playing as Cell, I've covered playing as Frieza, and it only makes sense that I finally have the time to talk about Majin Buu. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, I'm TheXploder, and today I'm going to be talking about my experiences playing as Majin Buu in Dragonball The Breakers. Apologise that it may have taken a while to get this video out, but I wanted to make sure that I played with Buu enough to warrant making a proper video on him. So I hope you're ready, because I'm going to splurge a lot of fandom all over the screen, just like how Buu splurges a lot of pink stuff everywhere he goes. Literally, there's so much pink stuff. Anything and everything you could possibly imagine when playing as Majin Buu in a video game is depicted right here in Dragonball The Breakers, making Buu one of the most immersive raiders you can play as right now. So let's break down Buu's individual levels and my thoughts on them. Starting off with Buu's level 1 being able to play as Spopovich of all people. So for those who don't know, Spopovich and Yamu are the two characters at the beginning of the Buu arc that effectively help Babidi get all the energy that he needs in order to resurrect Buu, or they play a role in it. And in all honesty, I love this decision. Playing as Spopovich is very cool, and sending out Yamu, his tag team partner, in order to help cover ground, as well as take additional power from anyone he crosses by, is brilliant. The whole gameplay aspect of Spopovich is simple. Go out there, find civilians or find raiders, gather that emergent energy that you need, and bring Buu into play as soon as you possibly can. Bear in mind that if you do get shafted very early on with the random placement of everything, that you are going to have an incredibly hard time. It takes 4 civilians alone to get to level 2 energy if you are not going to combat with other survivors. Pretty much, you either get a very lucky start with Spopovich and get all 4 civilians in one area right off the bat, or you get so heavily shafted that you're going to be hunting for civilians or even other survivors just to make ends meet. Also, when you are playing as Spopovich, your skills do have a long wind up and cooldown, so bear that in mind that you are going to be very prone to early game beatdowns. Especially if survivors have really good starts and are able to get to level 2 or level 3 energy quite early, they can just bombard you and you have nothing that you are able to do. However, if everything goes right, you gather your energy, you go back to Buu's egg, which does add to extra time with getting over to the second level. You will then be rewarded with playing with Innocent Buu. And Innocent Buu is freaking adorable. I love Innocent Buu in the anime and the manga. I think he's got an absolute mainstay in the series from now on, especially his interactions with Hercule. And seeing him in game and playing him in game is just as adorable. He fits perfectly well. He's got his pink wrapping gun that he can shoot out to people. He has his huge shouting outrages that of course you see him in. One of which being a really big explosive AoE with great knockback if you are being bombarded by people. Just be careful when using this around the time machine, however. I know that the super time machine has a pretty darn big hitbox when it comes to big AoE attacks, but it just seems to block a lot of that AoE if you perform it in the wrong location. So bear it in mind, you may have to be above the super time machine if you want to knock people away rather than being on one side of it. But the biggest problem that I have with Buu in general is sadly when you play as Innocent Buu when you're just level 2. And the big problem is you have 0 detection capabilities. Spopovich can cover more ground with Yamu, Super Buu has key detection similar to Cell, but Innocent Buu? Nothing. Good luck finding civilians to absorb by this point in the game. But there is a cheeky little tactic that I highly recommend. When you're playing as Spopovich, try to take down at least 1 or 2 survivors before turning into Innocent Buu. Then, get to Buu, as Buu rush over to those downed survivors and absorb them into candy. It's the best way to boost your power as soon as you can, and even if you don't get all the way to level 3 right off the bat, at least you're at a better standing than if you just went straight into Buu. Sadly, however, this does lead on to another issue that I have with this stage of Buu, and it's the time it takes to absorb players. Civilians are nice and speedy, but that's because they don't do a lot to fill your energy bar. But when it comes to filling your bar, as Cell when you're absorbing other players, it can take 15 seconds to absorb a player. In that time, you are completely wide open for attacks and distractions, all of this making the Innocent Buu stage the hardest of the lot. It does not take this long when you are first form Cell or even second form Frieza to take out a player and gather that sweet energy that you need. So why is it that long with Buu? Just because you're turning them into candy? It baffles the mind. However, I do want to exclaim that yes, this will make the Innocent Buu stage much harder to play as. But that does not mean you should not stop having fun, or it strips you of having fun as Innocent Buu. You still have great combat potential if you are surrounded by other survivors, and if you do get your power to level 3 even through combat, guess what? The fun only gets better. Therefore, we move on to Super Buu, and it's perfect. It's just perfect. Insert the meme here of Highlander saying it's perfect. Because that's literally it when you play as Super Buu. You have key detection, you have crazy attacks, you have that powerful presence like Buu has in the anime and the manga. Everything about Super Buu here is literal perfection. So perfect that I can't even speak about really anything else that I have about Super Buu. It's so great. Just get to Super Buu, play him. 9 times out of 10 you'll be winning the game as Super Buu because he is that damn good. Have fun. Buu in super form is perfect. Review done. But probably my most fun part of Buu is when you reach the max part of level 3. Instead of just instantly transforming into level 4 like you would do with Cell and Frieza, you instead absorb every single surviving survivor into you. Loading into the game, probably the most immersive area that I like to call Buu World. This is a miniature map in comparison to the big maps, and is inside of Majin Buu, as seen in Dragon Ball Z when Goku and Vegeta get absorbed when they are transformed as Vegito. This is such a brilliant touch to the game and adds to the immersive core of what it means to be Buu. And although the arena may be small, it is very even for both the survivors and the raider to have a chance of winning. So here's the trick. Survivors now have a different game plan. Instead of going for the time machine, now they need to go for Buu's core and release Buu's core in order to get back to the main map in hopes to win the game. Now this is where I was saying earlier that 9 out of 10 times you would be winning as Super Buu. Yeah, when you get to Buu World, it is very likely that you will win as Super Buu unless the survivors have kept their transformation power and transform to distract you long enough to get at your core. But if they do manage to get at your core and release themselves from the Buu World back to the main map in order to try and actually win the game, guess what? You get rewarded by finally transforming into Kid Buu. Playing as Kid Buu is so destructive and immersive. You genuinely feel like the destructive monster that this character is in the anime and manga. Every single thing that you do, from basic attacks, ki blasts, and your special attacks, are just beautiful, devastating, and outright crazy. I love it. But the best thing out of it all, you get to activate Buu's Devastator attack. The iconic attack from the anime where he literally puts his hand up, fires a consecutive blast of ki blasts that just shower the arena in all of destruction. It's key to know that if you are playing as a survivor and you see this attack coming, you have one of 2 options. Number 1, hide behind cover and stay under cover for as long as these blasts keep raining down because they do home in on you. Or 2, risk moving around, but you better move around fast or those blasts are going to absolutely wipe you out. Overall, this just finishes off the piece de resistance that is Majin Buu. It's just you gotta think of it like a multi-layered cake. You have your base cake with Spopovich that sets things up, and that's pretty fun. you have the Innocent Boo layer that can be a little bit hit or miss. It's probably the flavor of cake where some people of a party will enjoy it, but other people may find a little bit naff. That is the hard part of a cake to eat through. Then you have Super Boo and Kid Boo that top the cake off with some cherries, with some beautiful aesthetics on it that just make the experience complete and truly beautiful. So yes, overall, Majin Buu is incredibly fun. If you can get past the problems that I have with Spopovich and Innocent Boo stages, you are completely rewarded with some of the most destructive gameplay you could have as a raider in Dragon Ball The Breakers. But of course, all of this is completely based off of my experiences in the game. Have you experienced otherwise? Let me know your thoughts on Majin Buu down below in the comments. And on top of that, let me know what you thought about this video and things in general. If you want to check in on more explosive action, I highly recommend subscribing to the YouTube channel so you don't miss out on anything else in the future. On top of that, why don't you see me over on Twitch, where I live stream a bunch of games and a bunch of other challenge runs that you can enjoy. If there is anything else you would like to see from Dragon Ball The Breakers from my perspective, let me know in the comments also, as this is my last scheduled video for now. But until next time peeps, whether it is in the world of Dragon Ball The Breakers or otherwise, I hope you have a fantastic day, you've enjoyed this video, stay safe, stay awesome, and most importantly, stay explosive. I'll be seeing you guys next time.